that dismount again. You have to be right on. And she is.
Gabriela Potorek of Romania, her final score 9.8. She finishes in 4th place. So, checking the final standings, the Soviets own the top 3 spots, with Vera Kolesnikova finishing 1st, Yelena Shushanova 2nd, Oksana Omelianchik 3rd. As for the United States, Joyce Wilburn was 13th, Hope Spivey 16th, and Say 21st.
Real estate agents sell houses the same way.
Sports Complex. It's our final day of coverage in women's gymnastics competition. Apparatus finals, in which the top 8 gymnasts on each apparatus had a goal. And Kathy Johnson, this promises to be a very, very exciting day.
We are in for an incredible competition. In fact, all the top performers in every event are coming in with 9 nines or better. So it's going to take near perfection to take a medal. The Soviets will be the standouts again, but there are some highlights from some of the other countries, so it will be a well-rounded competition.
Okay, Bart Connor, as far as the United States is concerned, we could very well walk away with a medal today.
Well, we have some high hopes, I tell you. We have 3 competitors from the U.S. competing here. Angie Dankins, Hope Spivey, and Joyce Wilburn. Now, our biggest hopes, of course, lie with Joyce Wilburn, because in floor and in vaulting, she's in the finals with a 9.8 in floor and a 9.8 in vaulting. And if she puts together a couple of vaults, she could be the first medal winner for the United States. In fact, she could be the first medal winner from any country from the Western world.
It's the individual apparatus finals.
And you're looking at the warm-ups for the vault, the first event in our apparatus finals. And we talk about a little bit in the opening about the top scores. It's kind of ironic, the draw kind of odd that the high scores in all the events, Kathy and Bart, are either leading off or in 2nd place.
Tell you what, that can be an advantage and a disadvantage. It's sometimes good to go first, get it over with, and just apply the pressure to those after you. But also, sometimes with the judging, the scores tend to go higher, and they wait till those last girls go up.
This is still in the warm-up.
Первый опорный прыжок выполнит Джойс Уилборн, Соединенные Штаты Америки.
Now, the first young lady that we're going to see, that was the Soviet that you saw warming up right there. But the Joyce Wilburn of the United States, she finished with the 2nd highest score. In the team competition, she came away with a 9.90. You're looking at her right now. She's 15 years of age, from Paterson, New Jersey. Attends John F. Kennedy School there, trains at the North Stars Gymnastics Academy. What they will do with the women's score is each lady will take 2 vaults, and they'll average out the scores of the 2 vaults, add them to the preliminary score. That'll come up with a final score.
And we talked about high hopes. Joyce is the first competitor. We talked about the advantages and the disadvantages of being in that position. We're going to know right here. She's got to do 2 vaults, and she's got to stick them if she hopes to get a medal here.
Joyce Wilburn.
The first vault will be a layout with a full twist. Oh, a layout super high.
And she stuck the landing perfectly.
She changed her strategy, because I talked to the coaches before, and she was going to do the full twist first and then the layout. That's actually the weaker of her 2 vaults, but she does it so magnificent. Look at the height. And a great landing.
As we mentioned earlier, she had a 9.9 in the team competition. The field in this 8-member vault field, there were 2 9.9s and a 9.95.
And actually, Charlie, the rest of the 6 competitors are basically out of the competition, because it's very hard to make up a couple of tenths of points here in the event finals. Joyce is going to do her 2nd vault, which will be the same vault that we just saw with a full twist. It's that much harder.
Well, these are the scores from her 1st vault, which is about a 9.8 average. And they'll take this score, add it to her 2nd vault score, and then average the 2 scores.
You know, all week long we've been seeing 4 judges, but in the final competition they're using 6 judges per event.
9775, rather, is the score for Joyce Wilburn on her 1st vault.
Now, this is the crucial vault. Much more difficult. And as you said earlier, Bart, the key to winning a medal here is going to be sticking the landing.
2nd vault for Joyce Wilburn.
She can do this vault better than anyone else in the world if she can just stick.
Oh! She had a step on the end. She was picture perfect until the landing.
It was a gorgeous vault, great height. The most impressive part about it was the distance from the horse.
In fact, she looked a couple of feet farther than she actually did in the preliminary competition. The step will probably cost her 1/10 of a point. But still a very fine effort.
And it was a good chance for her to pick up at least a silver medal, possibly even a gold, depending on some of the other contestants who are following her, like Shevchenko, who's next, and look, not bad second score either. They'll average the two. 9.775, I believe. Looks similar to her first score right there. 6 judges again.
You drop the high and the low, and you average the 4 in the middle. And, of course, it looks like to me the average there. Oh, one of the scores came up. Well, still, I think it'll be a 9.8 average.
We're enjoying the competition here. We've enjoyed it for the last three days. The women have just been fantastic. As we look at Joyce Wilborn, she's awaiting her score.
And there's Don Peters, her coach, the coach of the American team at this competition. He's adding up the points as well.
9.80 for her second score. So her average will be 9.788 for Joyce Wilborn. As we look at Shevchenko of the Soviet Union, Yelena Shevchenko, 9.9 in the preliminary.
And she is a dynamite gymnast, very new on the Soviet team. She performs a double twisting suit. Now, I'll be interested to see if she does it first.
Елена Шевченко, Советский Союз.
She is 14 years of age. She didn't even make the all-around, even though she tied Oksana Omelianchik for 3rd place. That shows you how deep the Soviet team is.
Now, she does a different approach to the board. She does a round-off just before hitting the board and goes backwards to the horse. Layout full twist. An excellent vault.
She needs also, Shevchenko, a 9.788. Now, our current leader, as we watch the replay of Shevchenko, is Joyce Wilborn of the United States with a 19.688. They both came in with 9.9. So in order to tie our current leader, Wilborn, Shevchenko needs a 9.788 average.
Now, keep in mind, both scores count on both of these vaults, and she is going to perform a double twisting souk.
I think it's important to note here as well that a score of 19.688 is deceiving on the scoreboard because the score is actually 19.6875. Because they don't have enough places on the scoreboard, they're rounding it up to 19.688.
9.9 on the first vault for Shevchenko. So if she comes close, she becomes the current leader.
And she's going to do this double twist, I'll bet you. Don't you think, Kath?
Oh, I'm sure she will.
She does
It's a very
this vault
risky vault.
the same vault that she did in the last run, except this time she's going to crank one more twist in there. We saw her do it in the team competition, and it is unbelievable.
She tied for 2nd in the team competition.
Oh, what a vault!
And had no problems with the landing.
Beautiful position. You know, it didn't seem to me like she got quite as good of a push as she did on the first vault because she was so anxious to get cranking on that double twist.
She really didn't, and if you watch the landing, it's a little bit off, one foot slightly in front of the other, but it's so quick that the judges won't really take off for that.
We slowed it down and had trouble seeing it. Look at that, 9.9s across the board. So she's got the 9.9 that she needs, and she goes out in front for a total of 19.80. So she is the new leader with the 9.9 average. 19.80 is her total. She's in first place. Yeah, the young lady you're looking at now is Chen Kui-ting, and she's from China. 15 years of age, had a 9.7 in the preliminary. Her team from China won the bronze in the team competition. And this is considered one of her better events.
Which is interesting because in the past, the Chinese have been very weak on this event. They've improved so much, and it's partly due to this new round-off vault. Layout full. Oh,
The China doll, as we have affectionately called her the last couple of days. Everyone has fell in love with the young lady from China.
Oh, that's so unfortunate.
You know, she seemed to have everything going for her right here. She had good reach to the horse, fantastic push. I think she was trying too hard to stick it. She was going to put those feet back there and make sure she nailed the landing. We talked about how important it is that the gymnasts in the finals nail these landings. I think she put her feet a little too far back, trying to stick it too hard.
She comes into the competition with a 9.7. Remember, Shevchenko is already through. She's in first place with a 19.8. Wilborn is in second with a 19.68. This is Chen Kuiting of China. She needed a 10 just to move into second place. And you see her scores coming up now on her first vault. And it's going to be almost impossible, in fact, practically impossible for her to get that perfect 10. Her second vault coming up, 9.35, her first score. And the second vault forthcoming for Chen Kuiting. She's 4'7", 68 pounds. You see why we call her the China doll.
Chen Cutie, I think, is rather appropriate. We don't know what her second vault's going to be. We've seen her do that vault she just did for the first vault all week long. But in the finals, the gymnasts are required to do vaults of 2 different classes.
And a tucked full twist. Just changed the body position a little.
And still a little problem with the landing for Chen Kuiting.
She really doesn't have a second vault. She basically did the vault she did the first one, but this time she tucked it. And you can tell she's probably unprepared for the finals here, because it would have been nice to do that in a laid-out position or with another twist, but certainly a different vault from the first one around.
As you look at her, she finished 6th in the team competition. Going into the all-around, she moved up to 4th because the 2 Soviets couldn't even compete because of the country limit of 3. She lost ground in the all-around, finished 6th. Well, she'll also compete later on the balance beam here, but we await her second score. She got a 9.35 on her first score. Chen Kuiting of China. Her team won the bronze medal in the team competition.
We really saw a new philosophy with the Chinese gymnasts. In the past, they've been very flexible, elegant gymnasts, but not very strong. She shows a good balance between the elegance and the new strength that the Chinese are so trying to achieve.
Remember, Shevchenko's in first, Wilborn is in second, and we still have Elena Shushanova coming up. And Elena comes in with a 9.95, the highest score of all the competitors in the vault. The second scores for Chen Kuiting of China. And the judges having a little discussion over there on the sideline. There's 6 judges on the vault competition.
I think part of the discussion here is that she made a mistake by doing basically the same vault as the second vault here, and the judges have to decide if they're going to make that deduction of not only was it not a perfect vault, but she did the vault of the same class that she did the first vault, and of course that should be a deduction.
9.4 is the low, 9.7 the high, with 3 9.6s sandwiched in between as we look at some of the other judges.
You're seeing here Lyudmila Tereshcheva, otherwise known as the Queen of Gymnastics, a very top Soviet gymnast in the past.
And she's
That's
working
her
as
on
a
the right.
referee. She's helping arbitrate when there are conferences and when there are differences of opinion with the judges.
9.65 is now the final score on the second vault for Chen Kuiting, averaging out to 9.50. As you look at the young lady from China, we'll continue with more Goodwill Games coverage in just a moment.
Окончательный результат 19,2.
Vault